Not too long ago, I did a 9 DLC character prediction list, where I tried to guess the 9 DLC characters for Jump Force. Now it's time for a wish list. I wasn't sure if I wanted to split these two up into separate videos, but I actually asked you guys specifically, and you seem to respond very much in favor. You wanted a wish list video and you wanted a prediction list video. Now it's time for the wish list video. So if I could choose 9 characters to be in Jump Force, these are the characters that I would choose, with some obvious rules. I'm not going to go outside of Weekly Shonen Jump, despite how much I would love to see Eren Yeager or Saitama in this game. They're not going to be included in this video. Also, despite how much I would want Hinata, I'm not going to have Hinata on this list because if Hinata was in the game, she would need to be accompanied, or well, most likely would need to be accompanied by a Dragon Ball and One Piece character, and I don't really want an additional Dragon Ball or One Piece character. Now, before I jump into the list, I do want to specify I am not trying to satisfy anyone else. These are the characters that I want in the game. If I could pick the 9 DLC characters, if it was my decision, I would not choose these characters because I would be trying to satisfy the community rather than myself. But this is the list that I would choose if I was picking for me and me alone, starting with Giorno from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, personally, I haven't watched part 5 of the anime, and I understand if you haven't either, so for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to explain the exact reasons I would want to see Giorno in the game because I don't like spoiling stuff on my channel, but I will say this: not only Giorno himself as a character is awesome, but his stand ability is amazing. It would be an incredible addition and unique addition to the Jump Force roster. Also, again, without spoiling the connection between Giorno and Dio, wouldn't it be amazing to see them in the same Jump crossover game? Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho. While Hiei is a character I don't feel particularly connected to narratively, I would still be incredibly excited to see Hiei added to the Jump Force roster. Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, talked about the design of Sasuke being inspired by Hiei, which is quite obvious even on face value, so you can imagine how excited I would be to see Hiei added to Jump Force as a massive Sasuke fan. If it wasn't for Sasuke in part 1 of Naruto, I might have never fallen in love with anime. Even if it's just to see the two in contrast together, I would love to see them together in the same game. I have a decent idea of what Hiei's powers are, just through playing J-Stars a bit and looking into the character for video purposes, but honestly, I stopped looking into the character too much because I honestly don't want to spoil Yu Yu Hakusho for myself, because at some point I'm going to get around to finishing it. Yuno from Black Clover. Yuno is an interesting take on the rival character, and while I'm not super deep into the Black Clover story, even with the couple of fights I have seen with Yuno, I already know that I would love his moveset in Jump Force. Apparently there's some manga stuff that would be pretty big spoilers for Yuno in Jump Force, but that arc where he uses all of that stuff is currently being animated, so there should be no problem with having him be a DLC character. Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia. For my personal taste, I would much rather the next My Hero Academia male character to be Shoto Todoroki. I prefer Bakugo from a narrative and story perspective, but considering the aesthetics and the power set of each character, I would much prefer Shoto Todoroki, especially in this amazing graphics engine. Fun fact, before the end of Season 3 of My Hero Academia, I actually liked Shoto Todoroki much more than Bakugo. Noelle Silva from Black Clover. In the game right now, we don't actually have a water-based character. Noelle would add so much to the roster with just one character slot. She adds a water-based character, again, something that currently doesn't exist. She adds a female character, which we don't have much of, and she adds an actual magic user, which we currently don't have any of right now either. We don't have a traditional mage or magic character. That being said, if Yuno was on the roster, he would also fill that archetype. Regardless, it's hard to argue with just how much variety that Noelle would add to the roster on her own. It would be a perfect fit. Ochako Uraraka from My Hero Academia. I think Uraraka is actually one of the most well-handled female characters in Shonen, especially today. From a story and narrative perspective, of course, I like the character a lot. Past that, I don't really have much of a reason to have her on the list. I suppose she adds a unique moveset at the very least, so that would be kind of cool. Medaka from Medaka Box. I haven't read Medaka yet, but based on every conversation I have with the #1 Medaka fan on YouTube, Griffin Station, she seems like a pretty awesome character. For those not familiar with Medaka as a character, basically the idea is that she's perceived as this perfect person, but in actuality, her perfection isn't quite perfection, as all perfection is. Past that, though, you're probably gonna have to read or watch the manga or series yourself. On top of that, Medaka is a really powerful character, and I just like to see what they do with her moveset. Like, for people who don't know, she's actually a god tier character. Like, I'm pretty sure canonically she could beat everyone on the Jump Force roster, outside of possibly a few exceptions. Now that you mention it, that's probably why she wasn't in the Jump Force story or base roster. Nagisa Shioto from Assassination Classroom. Assassination Classroom is an awesome series, and everyone watching this video should immediately go watch Assassination Classroom. I'm not going to explain exactly why it's so amazing because I don't want to spoil it because it's fantastic. However, Nagisa should absolutely be in the game over Koro Sensei, in my opinion, for my personal taste. In my prediction video, I laid it out in a bit more detail if you want to go check that out. Again, there's no spoilers in that video, at least I don't think so. Well, you can kind of infer some context from what I say. Regardless, it's probably still worth going and checking out. And finally, the last character on my personal wish list is Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh god, I love Kaiba. I love this man. Look at him. While his most iconic card, Blue Eyes White Dragon, would not work as a monster he could use for combos, he does have cards like Force Raider and Battle Ox who could get the job done. Blue Eyes White Dragon could easily work as Seto Kaiba's special moves, and of course Obelisk the Tormentor as his ultimate attack. God, I need Kaiba in this game. Bandai Namco, if you are watching this, please at least give me his jacket. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you could leave a like on it, it helps other people find it. Let me know what characters you want to see in Jump Force. Subscribe to keep up to date with future content. My name has been Bilbzy, and I'll see you in the next video.